Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one that is pretty highly requested. So about a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year, yeah, it was well over a year, I uploaded a video about vitamin D deficiency and hair loss. And that was a very difficult video for me to upload because realistically, being a woman that's dealing with hair loss, I mean, anybody dealing with hair loss, you get self-conscious about it. But I was extremely self-conscious about the fact that I was dealing with this. But after I went to a doctor and I found out that it was vitamin D deficiency, and doing a little bit more research about vitamin D deficiency and realizing that actually so many people in the world deal with this, and some of the symptoms just go unnoticed. So I thought, you know what, like if this can help at least one person, then I'm gonna upload this. So I did upload it, and the response was amazing. I mean, every day since uploading that video, and I'm not even exaggerating, every single day since uploading that video, I have gotten a DM on Instagram from somebody around the world, men and women, saying, I'm dealing with this issue, I found your video, how long did it take for your hair to grow back? And I've always known that I wanted to do an update video on this, but I had to hold off on it because although it was late 2018, I think, when I uploaded the video. So it's been well over a year. I started seeing a little bit of progress, and then 2019 was an exceptionally difficult year for me. It was just like one challenge after another, and I think all the stress, well, I don't think, I know, all the stress that I dealt with actually made me lose more hair. So I didn't really feel comfortable answering the question when people were messaging me asking how long it took for my hair to grow back because my hair was starting to fall out again. And it was so frustrating. And when dealing with a lot of stress as it is, and then on top of that, your hair is just falling out in patches, it just added to all that stress. So I do want to say that my hair has not fully grown back, but I would say about 80% of it has, and I'm so happy about that, and I'm so thrilled. And I did really want to like wait it out and see the progress and like learn a little bit more about this before making a video about it. If so many of you are relating to this, I really want to give you the right information, or as right as I can give you, if that makes sense. I have been doing a lot of research, and one person that I really respect and admire and talks about this is Dr. Doris Day. So she is a dermatologist, and she specializes in hair loss in men and women. And just like reading more about her and listening to her on podcasts and just really researching her and her work, I've learned so much about hair loss that I want to present to you guys today. So a lot of this is findings by Dr. Doris Day. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I cured my hair loss. So first things first, if you are experiencing hair loss and you haven't gone to see a doctor, I would definitely recommend going to see your family doctor. That's when I realized that I had a vitamin D deficiency. And sometimes it could be something other than a vitamin D deficiency. So it's not like a one cure-all just to take more vitamin D. It's always a good idea to take supplements, but taking vitamin D isn't necessarily going to be your issue, and it's not going to necessarily bring your hair back. Say you do go see a doctor and they do diagnose you with a vitamin D deficiency or whatever, they find the issue, because realistically, when you're seeing hair loss, there is something internally that's going on, whether it be stress, whether it be a deficiency, whether it be another ailment, which we will get into in a little bit. But that's a huge indication that something else is going on. So if you do want to get a second opinion, I know that this isn't the first thing that comes to mind, but go see a dermatologist. A lot of time, dermatologists can really help pinpoint the issues that that are causing the hair loss. Also, if you're experiencing hair loss and you're telling people, you're telling your doctor, you're telling your family, you're telling your friends, I'm experiencing hair loss, and everybody's like, you're crazy, because that's what happened to me. Don't take that into account. Just because somebody can't see it, it doesn't mean it isn't happening. Also, you know yourself better than anybody does. And they say statistically that by the time you start noticing the hair loss, you've already lost 30 to 40% of your hair, which is a large amount. If you do go see your doctor though, and your doctor is adamant on the fact that, you know, nothing is wrong, you're completely healthy, and you go see a dermatologist and they say the same thing, doesn't mean everybody's lying to you. It could just be as you grow, as you get older, there are hormonal changes, there are physical changes, there are emotional changes, and there are a lot of things that don't necessarily come up in tests that are going to affect your hair loss. So, I mean, it is natural that between seasons you're going to shed more hair in the shower. When you brush your hair, more is gonna come out in the hairbrush. When I blow dry straighten my hair, there's hair that falls out onto the floor when I'm doing my hair. So that's normal. There's normal shedding. But when you're starting to see bald spots and like it's something that's really apparent for you, I had a bald spot over here and I had a bald spot over here, and like my hairline, I could just really see it getting very sparse, and that's when I knew there was an issue. And I think I waited a little longer, like I think I had lost more than 30 to 40% of my hair at the point that I started taking action. Dr. Doris Day has this theory that is actually really funny, and is actually something that I have noticed not only with myself but with the people that are in my life around me, that people who notice that they have hair loss fall into a very specific personality type. People that, her words, not mine, people that notice their hair loss are very capable and ambitious people. They tend to be type A personalities, and they tend to be the kinds of people that will bend over backwards for everybody else and kind of not take care of themselves as much. People that really spread themselves thin. And with people with this personality type, it's like you're being pulled in so many different directions. And when you start noticing that hair loss, it plays such a mental toll on you that you can no longer be there for yourself and for the people in your life that may depend on you, whether it be your kids or a parent or even your job. It actually affects every aspect of your being, which I find so interesting, because when I was dealing with this, I did notice that I was just not in it as much. I was not as invested in my YouTube videos. I was not as invested in my day job. I was not as invested in my personal relationships. It's almost like, I mean, I know that a lot of the things that I dealt with last year did contribute to a lot of depression, and then seeing those physical changes too contributed to a little more depression. So it was like dealing with all that, and then also dealing with the fact that I didn't like the way I looked, just kind of pulled me away from everything, and I just no longer had the energy or the willingness to maintain any kind of anything in my life. So playing into that school of thought that type A personalities or people that have a lot on their plate are ones that have a lot of hair loss, that plays into the school of thought that the most common type of hair loss is called telogen effluvium, and that is a stress-based hair loss. But the good thing about telogen effluvium is it's not permanent per se. So just to break it down, your hair growth it comes and goes in cycles. So the anagen phase of your scalp growth cycle, it lasts 2 to 10 years. That's just on your scalp. That's how long it takes for your hair to fully grow in, is 2 to 10 years. And then there is the telogen phase, the resting phase, where your hair is on your head. That is about 3 to 4 months, when your hair is just kind of stagnant on your head. It's sitting there and it's just resting. And then it'll go straight into the catagen phase, which is the shedding phase, and that lasts a couple of weeks. So basically what's happening when you get telogen effluvium is any kind of stress that comes onto your body, whether it's an illness or a loss in the family, a breakup, anything in your life that's causing significant stress, can actually force your hair out of that growing phase and into that resting phase. So your hair hasn't fully grown in yet, because it takes 2 to 10 years, right, for the hair to fully grow in. But it's being forced out into that resting phase, which means that that's only gonna last 2 to 4 months, and then it's gonna start shedding. So you're gonna start noticing bigger clumps coming out more often and more quickly, and that's when telogen effluvium happens. But the thing is, although that's alarming, you have to consider that because your body is forcing your hair into that resting phase and it's falling out, it's not a true loss. It is gonna grow back, but it's gonna take its time. It's gonna take a while. So the thing is that when you are stressed and you're going through something major in your life, a major life change, an illness, grief, whatever it may be that's causing your stress, it's not something that happens overnight. And I don't have to tell you guys that. You guys know that it takes a lot of mental capacity to come back from something that is causing you a lot of stress. So if you're noticing that hair loss throughout this process of whatever it is you're going through, whatever stress it is, you're noticing the hair loss, you're noticing this, you're noticing that, it's really contributing to your mental well-being, you could start dealing with chronic telogen effluvium. And that's a little harder to come back from, but you can come back from it. The thing is that you gotta find the underlying cause. You gotta take care of yourself mentally, take care of yourself physically, eat the right foods, work out, meditate, really take care of yourself from the inside out. I've been going to therapy. I started going to therapy regularly last year, and it has made such a change, not only mentally for me, but physically. My therapist, at a time that I just was not feeling good, challenged me, gave me homework to work out. 20 minutes a day, just work out, track my progress on a scale, 1 to 10. How was I feeling this morning? How was I feeling after the workout? Even just contributing, like having that workout in my life has improved my skin, improved my hair so much. And because I'm working out, I want to eat better. So it's like this all around wellness. You really have to pinpoint the problem, figure out what it is, and work through it. The body is such an amazing thing, and if you're not taking care of yourself, you can have so many physical responses to your mental problems that just it ends up becoming a snowball effect. Now, there are forms of hair loss that are a little more permanent, and that is called alopecia. All I know really about alopecia is that basically it's an autoimmune disorder where your body believes that your hair follicle is a foreign invader and just starts pushing the hair out. I don't know much about alopecia, so I can't speak much to it. I'm sure that there are some amazing resources, and if I find any, I will put them down below in the description box. So if that is something, I feel like a medical professional can talk about that a little better. Because I've never had to deal with that, I don't really feel comfortable speaking on it. Going back to the stress though, stress can actually accelerate genetic patterns. So if you are somebody that comes from a family that deals with a lot of hair loss, stress can actually make it happen a lot quicker than it would otherwise. So again, we're playing into that, like stress does awful things to the body. Then there's also like hormonal hair loss, and your doctor can tell you a little bit more about hormonal hair loss, but a lot of times in women and in men, but I'm gonna speak to women for this particular instance, a lot of times with hormonal hair loss, you'll notice that your hair is, you're losing hair on your head, but you're also getting thick hair on different parts of your body. You are getting acne around the chin area. So acne around the chin area is the biggest indicator that you may have some kind of hormonal issue. Even sometimes I'll get acne in the chin area if I'm, ovulating or menstruating. It has a lot to do with your menstrual cycle too. But if you're noticing it a lot all month long, then it could be some kind of hormonal issue. So that could be that could play into PCOS, which again, I don't know much about that, but I do know that that does cause a lot of hair growth. So anyways, now that we talked about telogen effluvium, and we talked about like hormonal hair loss, and we've talked about stress and hair loss, we'll get into a little bit more of what I did to help my hair loss. So there are things out there on the market. There's Rogaine and things like that. I've always been kind of skeptical to use chemicals. I hate using chemicals of any sort. Rogaine really freaked me out for some reason. I know that I've seen a few YouTube videos of some women using female Rogaine. I never really felt like I needed to. I never really felt like I got to that point. But there's nothing against it. If it works for you, if your doctor, my doctor told me to use it. If your doctor tells you to use it, by all means, try it out if you're comfortable with it. I was not comfortable with it. There are pills out there that your doctor can talk to you about that you can reduce hair loss for up to, what is it? I think it's about, you could go about 5 years back in terms of your hair loss if you catch it at the right time. So your doctor can prescribe you some medications that can help you get a lot of that hair growth back and go back about 5 years. So, okay, for me personally, we're gonna talk about this. So, in the 6-month update video, I did talk about how I was taking 2,000 IU. So IU is like a scale that's used for supplements and vitamins and all that stuff. So I take 2,000 IU of vitamin D a day. So that was working for quite some time. I was noticing that there was a lot of hair growth. It was coming in very slowly, but I could see it just like little baby hair sticking up. And then 2019 hit and my hair just started falling out again. So I think the first thing that I did to really get my hair back, and this was just, it wasn't a decision that I made because of hair loss. It was a decision that I made for my own well-being, but it was going to therapy. So going to therapy really, it helped me not only reduce my stress, but learn how to manage my stress better. And stress management, stress happens. Like you can't avoid it. That's life. Life is going to happen. It's all about how you manage it though, and how you take care of yourself. So meditation is one of my favorite things to do. Working out, yoga, eating well, those things, I know it sounds so cliche, but honestly, if you incorporate those things in your life, you will see a huge difference. I'm now taking prenatal vitamins. I'm not trying to get pregnant, but the reason why I'm taking the prenatal vitamins is that additional folic acid in it helps with skin, and it helps with hair, and it just helps metabolize your food better and everything. So I'm taking a prenatal vitamin. If your doctor tells you, if you're a woman and your doctor tells you that it's okay to take a prenatal vitamin, I would recommend taking one, because I have honestly seen such a great change with my hair with the prenatal vitamins. It's coming in thicker, it's shinier, it's in a much better state. I also started taking a biotin pill. So the thing about biotin pills is I purchased it, and on the back it said, do not take for more than a month. I spoke to a friend of mine who's a nurse, and I asked her why that is. She said that you have to give your body that biotin in the pill, and that if you feel like you're going through hair loss, and that biotin is what you find in those like hair, nail, and skin gummies. So after a month, you have to let your body try to produce it on its own. If you continue to take the biotin, it could cause thyroid issues. It could cause a lot of issues that are just not favorable. If you have a healthy thyroid, if you're completely healthy and your doctor says it's okay, go ahead and keep taking those. I didn't want to risk it. And I was noticing that I was getting a lot more hair growth. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna skip the biotin. I did it for a month, and I'm just gonna let my body produce its own biotin. And honestly, I have seen such an enormous change. Another thing that I did is I purchased this multi-peptide serum for hair density from The Ordinary. So this says it's a concentrated serum for hair that looks thicker, denser, fuller, and healthier. I love The Ordinary. I use Ordinary serums for my skin, so I thought I'd pick this up and see how it works. I only have about a quarter of this bottle left. I put about a drop in my palm every night. I dip a Q-tip in it, and I put it right directly on the scalp, and I just massage it in there every night before bed. This has made such a huge difference in the way that my hair comes in. This is not an ad or anything. This is something that I picked up on my own. I've been doing it every single night. I've been very diligent with it, and this has helped my hair grow back in an insane way. So that is pretty much my 1 year, it's been more than a year, but that's pretty much my 1 year update of how I got thicker and fuller and richer hair after coming out of a vitamin D deficiency. If you are dealing with this, I feel for you, honestly, I do. And if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, please go ahead. I'd love to chat with you guys. Just know that you need to go see your doctor. You need to get this figured out, and you need to be patient. So a lot of the things that I tell people that message me on Instagram about their hair loss, the main thing that they say is, I was just diagnosed with this. I just started taking vitamin D. When am I gonna start seeing results? And I get it. I do have to say though that it takes about 90 days for cell regeneration and regrowth. So it takes about the full length of taking a supplement, a vitamin D supplement, in order to see a change. You have to give your body time to have those cells turn over and to grow the hair. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's a process. But even if you're very self-conscious about it, make a hair appointment with your hairdresser. Find hairstyles and haircuts that'll help hide that, make you look like you have a little more volume until your hair starts to grow back. I know how frustrating it is, and I wish I could have a solution for you that would work overnight, but nothing does work overnight. It all takes time. It takes patience. It takes mental wellness. It takes physical wellness. It takes you taking care of yourself. If you're feeling self-conscious about this, just know that, first of all, you're not alone. Second of all your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel this way. It's not self-centered to feel that upset because you have hair loss. When you look at an animal that has a thick coat of hair, what's the first thing that comes to mind? They're healthy, right? So we all want that feeling. We want that feeling of looking healthy and youthful and fresh and good. And when you don't feel that way, it takes a toll on you completely. And I completely understand. And you're not alone. A lot of people deal with this and they just don't talk about it because they're self-conscious about talking about it. But I'm here to open up this conversation. And this is an important conversation to have because a lot of people deal with this problem. And it's okay if we talk about our stories and we talk about the ways that we overcame these problems. You can help people out there. So anyways, I hope this helps somebody out there, and I hope that you guys feel a little bit better about this and you feel that there is like a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna stop rambling. If you guys want to talk to me a little bit more about this, you can always leave me a comment down below, or you can message me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Probably Instagram. Instagram is what I check the most. So if you guys want to talk to me, check out my Instagram. I will have all my handles down below in the description box. Anyways, if you guys have any kind of tips and tricks for hair loss that could help anybody, and you want to share them, let me know down below in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload every single week. I love you guys, and until next week, I'll see you guys later.